All right, video two, Mr. McKittrick here. Distance in the mutation zone. We're dealing with the gamma radiation. If you look on the right side of my screen, you will be able to see the gamma data table. And we have our numbers, distance between 50 and 1. And we also have our mutation days that are calculated from 4,167 to 30.6. Now I put those in over here on the right. And just like last time, any time that you want to pause the video would be a good time so that you don't miss anything. Other things for us to see after we put these numbers in, notice that this tab on the left, and I'm going to make it bigger, is the gamma radiation. We previously did the beta radiation graph on the first tab. So there's this tab on the bottom of the screen that we will use. Our first step, again, is clicking and sliding to highlight all of the data. Right? And then we're going to find the Insert Chart button. You might see it on the toolbar, or you could always go to the top and click Insert Chart. All right, and here's our chart. Now, we once again have our title, our y-axis, and our x-axis. If you're struggling with putting these in, look back at the first video. Now, we need to change some of these ranges down here. The easiest way is to double click on these numbers below, and it's going to open up horizontal axis. We're going to put our minimum value again as 0, and our maximum value is 50. And we can see that number enters into the chart. Then we're going to add some grid lines, and just like last lab, grid lines and ticks, we're going to make each step worth 5. All right, so now we have a nice x-axis down here where each one is worth 5. On the y-axis will be the last thing for this chart. We're going to double click on it. Our numbers are between 0 as a minimum, 5,000 as a maximum. So we locked in over here. So you can see this on the right, 0 and 5,000. Then the last thing we need to do is enter the grid lines and ticks. Much bigger range this time. I'm going to use the step again. I'm going to just try some different numbers. If I put the number 50 in, that is probably way too many lines to be able to see. Try 100. Remember, we want it around 365. That's not bad, but it's a little bit hard to see. I'm going to try 250. And that number gets us pretty close. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but I like that number right there. It gives us a decent amount of lines, and we'll be able to see pretty close to where our line for 365 is going to go on the next graph. All right, so we have now to copy our graph. Remember from before, one other side note, if you're ever off like this and you need to edit, there's the 3 buttons right here, and you can click on the edit chart, and you'll be right back into the part where you can edit it. Now we're going to click on the lab, and you're going to hit the Control C to copy, and you can notice that blue line disappears. And I can do it one more time. Control C, the blue line is going to disappear. We're going to take this copied graph, and now we're going to go back to our lab. We're going to scroll down. This is just like the beta graph, as you can see here. This is what your beta graph should look like from part 1. We're going to insert it as a drawing here in the gamma part. So insert drawing, new. You have to insert it as a drawing so that it allows you to annotate. And then when we get this checkerboard, Control V to paste. Click on it. So for mine, it's not seeming to paste. So I'm going to go back again to my graph, Control C, make sure that blue goes away. I'm going to try it again. Sometimes it just doesn't work right the first time. I try it again, Control V, and this time it worked. I don't have a reason for that, but I do see that with students' graphs sometimes. Paste it in, and you can see our graph. Now we have 3 steps to go. The first being the best fit line. So look for the select line function, click on it. It's going to be a plus sign right here. And I'm going to try to make a line that has the equal number of points above and below the line. You can see I have one below and one above. And about 5 of the points are right on the line. Some other things I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the line color. And actually, I'm going to keep it black. I'm going to make it bigger. So I'm going to go to 4 point, just so I can see it a little bit better. And then our next thing, if you remember from the instructions that we talked about in the first video, we have to draw a line at 365 days. That's how many, that's going to be our mutation zone mark, right? So after 365 days, it's a new year, that 500 millirems will reset. So the line's going to go right in between 250 and 500, and we're going to change the color to red. This is going to signify our mutation zone and our safe zone. So anything below it is going to be dangerous, right? Too much radiation, you're at risk of a mutation. Anything above it, that's on the black line, is going to be the safe zone. Right? You're not, no matter how long you're exposed to it, you are not at a risk for a mutation. So we will put safe zone at the top. We'll make it a separate text box for mutation zone. And you could always click on it to move it a little bit. Probably moved it a little bit too far. So it's right there. So we have the safe zone above the red line, anywhere on the best fit line that's above the red line, or the mutation zone anywhere on the line below the red line. So you need to get this done before our next class. In the next class, we'll work on the questions and the conclusions, and then we'll finish our first lab. I hope you found this helpful. Have a good rest of the day.